Hello, I'm Kimberly, and welcome to the weekend edition of the Native News Update. It's Friday, December 27th. Many of the stories you hear here can be found at IndianCountryTV.com. And here's the news for the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. The tally of unexplained bald eagle deaths in Utah this month rose to 20 on December 26th as the state wildlife officials look for possible links to the disease suspected in coinciding die-off of thousands of shorebirds around the Great Salt Lake. Since December 1st, state wildlife specialists have documented a growing number of bald eagles of varying ages succumbing to an unexplained ailment that crippled them with leg paralysis and tremors before they died. The eagle deaths have been concentrated in the northern and central parts of Utah at a time when the federally protected raptors have migrated to their wintering grounds in the Rockies. Necropsy, the animal equivalent of autopsy examinations, have yet to pinpoint what is killing the eagles, but scientists now believe a disease rather than a toxin is the culprit. A recent die-off in Utah of eared grebes that began in November has now killed thousands of birds, maybe tied to the deaths of the eagles, which are known to prey on the small shore birds. The largest previous record die-off in the United States of eared grebes and other birds occurred in 1975 in the Great Salt Lake. Bank 2, the leading home loan lender for Native Americans, which is funded by the Chickasaw Nation, recently hosted a training and information conference called the Native American Home Loan Conference for loan officers and real estate professionals. The conference, which was a two-day event focused on changes in the home loan market, was held in the Petroleum Club in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. It emphasized the importance of finding new ways to help Native American families achieve home ownership. A number of presentations centered around how to take advantage of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development Section 184 Indian Home Loan Guaranteed Program. The conference also offered insight into how to increase sales volume for Native American home loans and how to receive training for HUD 184 certification. For more information about Bank 2's home loan program for Native Americans, you can check out bank2online.com/loans/home-loans. A new organization in Ypsilanti, Michigan that promotes cancer awareness for Native Americans is struggling to stay afloat. Shoshona Beth Phillips is Executive Director of the Heritage of Healing. It incorporates Native traditions and activities into its services and supports families with a parent dealing with cancer. Phillips herself is originally from the Omaha Nation of Nebraska and was diagnosed with bone marrow cancer 7 years ago. Phillips says one reason she created the organization was because there's no Native American community center in Washtenaw County. Phillips says Native people are sometimes afraid they'll lose respect when asking for help, and she says lack of trust is another issue preventing them from reaching out to a non-Native group. The year-old organization may have to close its doors because of lack of funding, but Phillips says she remains hopeful. For more information or to make a donation, check out heritageofhealing.org. 10 Southern Pueblo governors were celebrating the obligation of a USDA Rural Development funded study that creates the first ever Native American food hub in the nation. For hundreds of years, the residents of the Pueblos in New Mexico have farmed the land to provide the food they ate. Today, the Native American farmers continue to grow corn, squash, beans, and other produce for their own consumption, but often they have abundance of food at the end of every growing season. The 10 Southern Pueblo Council contracted with the Alcoma Business Enterprises to serve as the fiscal manager and applied for a Rural Business Enterprise grant through USDA. The financial support is funding a study to determine how best to manage the distribution of food produce by the native growers through a food hub concept. Once the data is collected, a plan will be implemented in 2014 to make sure the food is provided to the residents of the 10 Pueblos and to others needing fresh, healthy produce for their diet. As well, the Pueblos hope that a successful food hub offers more sustainability to native farmers who wish to make a living through farming. Scottsdale, Arizona's newest attraction, the Butterfly Wonderland, America's largest butterfly pavilion, has announced a series of seasonal and permanent offerings that will serve as a cultural bridge to the Salt River Pima-Maricopa Indian community in which it makes its home. From a dedicated butterfly ambassador and community concierge to native food and dance events, The new program will help educate and introduce visitors to the centuries-old traditions of the community and its reverence for the natural world. Butterfly Wonderland features a magnificent glass atrium that brings a tropical rainforest environment to the Arizona desert, as well as educational laboratories and interactive exhibits, a 3D movie theater, gift shop, and cafe-style dining area. For more information, you can check out butterflywonderland.com. Native American elders from across the country sent thank you notes to the Snoqualmie Tribal Council in appreciation for their sponsorship of the 2013 National Christmas Tree. On December 21st, more than a dozen tribal members gathered in front of the Snoqualmie Casino to commemorate their participation in the annual holiday tradition of placing a national Christmas tree on the mall in Washington, D.C. Their celebration featured the acquisition of a smaller version of the national tree. They blessed a 12-foot tall Engelmann spruce that will be planted on the berm above the casino's main driveway. A commemorative engraved rock will be installed at the base of the tree. This is the first time the U.S. Capitol tree has been tribal-sponsored. The tradition of an outdoor Christmas tree, also known as the People's Tree in Washington, D.C., began in 1964 when a member of Congress set one up. The U.S. Forest Service took over in 1970 and, along with the nonprofit group Choose Outdoors, oversees the annual event. Sponsors underwrite transportation and installation costs. The Snoqualmie tribe was one of the major contributors, donating $75,000. And that's another roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. I'd like to thank you for joining me and have a grand day.